Hi, it's Mark Toomey with Steel Wheel Training. You know, we get a lot of questions from people who want to train their core. You know, the silly thing about it is that any exercise properly done, incorporating all of the muscles that you really need to do the exercise safely and completely, will train your core. But we have something that we want to talk to you about specifically today, and that's using a basic push-up exercise with the use of straps to teach you how to really develop the center part of your body, pulling your extremities in and developing some core strength. These are power straps from Elite Fitness. You can also get something very similar to this from Lifeline USA. They're called Jungle Gyms. A few years ago overseas, we just used pieces of rope that we tied loops at the end of and hung them over chin-up bars. It effectively was the same thing. The best way to start off with this, because you're going to start developing stabilizer muscles that generally aren't used in machines or barbell exercises, is to do an exercise that we generally have women do, and that's push-ups on your knees. So you'll grab the straps and pivot down on your knees, going down and pushing up. Going down and pushing up. Really important to try to keep your elbows as close to your body as possible as you descend, so you don't flare the elbows out. It puts an excessive amount of pressure on the front part of your shoulders, and it really doesn't activate your pecs much at all. So once again, get that feeling that you're pulling yourself down into the ground and then pushing back up. Once you've completed that, you can go to a basic push-up position. Feet on the floor, your hands down, pull yourself down into the ground, push back up. Pull yourself down into the ground, push back up. There are two things I can't stress enough here. The first one is keep your glutes tight. If your hips are saggy, you're not doing yourself any favor. You're exposing your lower back to injury, and you're really not getting the most out of the exercise. The other thing is really focus on that whole sensation of pulling yourself in and pushing yourself up. It's a feeling similar that gymnasts have called getting hollow, where everything is being pulled into the center. If you let your hips sag, you let your arms go out, you're really not developing any strength here in the center part of your body. So what I'd suggest you do is start off with your knees. Once you feel comfortable with that and the shaking ends because you've built up these stabilizer muscles, move to a standard push-up position, and then we're going to move you to the next grade on this. This is the next progression in using straps to do basic push-up movements. And in this particular case, we're moving from having our knees on the ground to our feet on the ground. Now we're going to be using a Bosu ball. The nice thing about a Bosu ball is it's flat, it doesn't move around, but it still gives your feet a little bit of a feeling of instability so that you have to keep your core as tight as possible. In this particular case, just put your feet on the Bosu ball, pinch those cheeks together, and pull yourself down into the ground, push back up. Again, pull yourself down into the ground, push back up. Once you've got the feeling for it and you're not quite as wobbly, this is a really terrific exercise to do just on one foot. So you'll pull one foot here on the Bosu ball, draw yourself down in, bring up, change foot. Change your foot, change your foot, and then you can start using an explosive motion, changing your feet that way. Again, changing the way your body is moving, drawing into your core to keep yourself stable. This is progression number 2. Last, the final progression in using push-up straps to develop core strength. We started with our knees on the ground, went to a position where our feet were on the ground as we developed these stabilizer muscles in the front part of our shoulders and our chest, went to a Bosu ball, and now we're going to use a Swiss ball. There are 3 things that are very important to remember when moving up into this progression. The first one is you've got to keep your glutes tight and pinched together, almost like you're holding a diamond in between your cheeks. The second thing is do not let your lower back dip. I see a lot of guys doing this exercise. The lower back it's almost like a sway back on a horse. They're exposing their lower back to a lot of pain, and at the same time they're also pushing their body up into this position, putting undue stress on the front part of your shoulders. The last thing again, remember that you're not passively letting your weight go down, but instead you're actively pulling your body down into that push-up position and then explosively pushing back up. This is an exercise that's going to require what's called relaxed tension. If you just try to lock up with your feet up on this ball, you're going to roll right off. You're going to have to make slight adjustments by feeling which way the ball is going. It's a great way to train the core of your body to make adjustments that you're going to need when you're playing sports, walking down the street, slipping on ice, a lot of different activities. So once again, put your hands down into the straps here, put your feet on the ball. Once you get fairly proficient at this, you can add a weight vest, you can add a plate onto your back. There's a number of different things that can make this exercise even more difficult. If you have questions regarding this or any of the progressions, please email us at www.steelwheeltraining.com and click on the Contact tab. Thanks for watching.